Welcome back to Southpaw Picks, and you're here with your host Charles, and this is UFC Long Island Ortega versus Rodriguez, and we got an exciting night of fights, or day of fights, since it's kicking off here, 11 a.m. East Coast time. We got an exciting day of fights ahead of us. Very, very, very important matchup in the featherweight division in the main event slot, and a lot of nice little spots, a lot of nice dogs that we can cash on. But before we get into the breakdown, we're going to kick you with a little bit of a recap. Last week we go 7-4 on predictions, and we also followed up with 2.7 units of profit. Now, the public parlay of the week doesn't hit. I'm sorry that I rushed through my prediction videos last week. I don't know if you're aware, but in Canada there was a big network shutdown of Wi-Fi services and data services for your phone. So I couldn't give you guys a quality video. So I'm back this week and back to giving you guys quality videos like what you're used to here at Southpaw Picks. But let's get into the breakdown, guys. You know, I'm trying to give you this information nice, precise, and give you guys good betting angles. But let's kick it off with the main event. We got Brian T. City Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. Now, this is a tricky fight. I've been back and forth on this one. I see a lot of avenues for Brian Ortega. Obviously, I see avenues here for Yair Rodriguez. And the more I get into it, the more I can convince myself on going with either guy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm definitely not going to parlay the main event, right? You know, I'm used to doing that in most respects. But, you know, the line as far as minus 175 Brian Ortega, the comeback on a straight bet on Rodriguez probably wouldn't give us, you know, a good enough value, you know, opposed to like other times where we got Armas Sarukian and Gamrot or, you know, Emmett and Calvin Kattar, right? You got that, you know, 2-1 money. So because I know both guys' avenues can go in two directions, with Brian locking up a sub here, or Yair really implementing his striking ability. I do believe, you know, Yair's speed, you know, his diversity in the attack could give Brian Ortega a lot of trouble. And but then I don't want to count out the opportunistic nature of Brian Ortega here. I think it's fair to say that, in my opinion, even though we've seen a little bit different trends here in featherweight matchups recently, I'm going to take this fight not to go the distance. That's my favorite spot in this match when it comes to putting my money on it. If you want to take the dog shot on Yair, cool. I think he's approaching plus 150 in certain spots. So in my opinion, this is a dog or pass. And I'm going to actually predict Yair Rodriguez to get the upset here, win a competitive fight off some submission attempts, you know, show that Brian Ortega, you know, can't just always have the optimistic attempt of a submission victory. And I think Yair is going to put the beats on him and win a late stoppage, 4th round for Yair Rodriguez. Moving on down the card here, we got in the co-main event, we got Miesha Waterson-Gomez versus Amanda Lemos. Now, you know, I was looking at a lot of film on this spot because, you know, Miesha Waterson is an intriguing dog at this plus number. But guys, aside from that, you know, crazy performance there where Jessica Andrade just strangled Amanda Lemos and got her out of there quick, you know, the size advantage, the speed advantage, the power advantage, the length. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, you know, Miesha could get Amanda Lemos into deep waters and get her to tire, man. I can see a stoppage here. Now, they don't have a good line on Lemos by stoppage, but that's what I really think. I think Lemos will be able to put Miesha out this time. You know, she's taking a lot of damage. She's very hittable. She really goes out there and puts her face on the line in some of these fights. I think Lemos is really going to knock her down, drop her, and choke her. And you know what? With that being said, I think the only way to play this is Lemos by club and sub, Lemos by submission, and that's what I'm going to go with. You know, Miesha is a tough girl. Maybe she doesn't get put out. This is the strawweight division. But I'm going to say Lemos clubs and subs, hits her with a straight right hand down the pipe, hops in the back, rear naked choke, and that's that. Moving on down the card, we got Jingliang versus Muslim Salikhov. Intriguing matchup when it comes to the side of taking the underdog here with Jingliang, because, you know, he's got power in his hands. He's got an interesting movement about him, interesting striking ability. And then you got a guy in Muslim Salikhov who's very measured, throws a lot of spinning attacks, but very well-rounded and approaches fights very well. Now, both guys here are counter-strikers, and with that being said, one of these guys are going to have to go forward in the matchup. And I could see Lee being the one who wants to go get Muslim Salikhov, especially coming off a loss where he really got dominated by Hamzat Chimaev. He's probably going to be very eager to get out there and put in some work, be in front of a crowd again. But I'm going to side with Muslim Salikhov. I know a lot of people are on the dog this week, but I do think Muslim is just going to be very, very, very tactical. He's going to be very patient. I think he's going to land his shots. I think he's going to land those spinning kicks. I think he's going to have good counter hooks. And I also think he's going to be able to hang in there with the pace of Lee. And, I also don't want to, take away the idea that Muslim might just put on a bit of a grappling spree here. We've seen that be a weakness in Lee's game before. So give me the favorite here in Muslim Salikhov, and I'll take him by unanimous decision. Moving on down the card, we got Matt Schnell versus Sumudaerji. Man, I've been wanting to see Sue fight a little bit more, considering that the tape we have on him is obviously against limited competition, where you see Matt Schnell really go out there and get finished by some great guys, be competitive in some other matchups. Now, this is almost a 3-to-1 tag for Sue, and I don't think it's warranted. Although I'm going to pick him to just outpoint Schnell, land bigger shots, stuff a couple takedowns, and really implement a very defensive kickboxing game here against Schnell. I can see Schnell does have decent hands, but I just don't think he can overcome the reach and the speed of Sue here. But it would be interesting to see if he came here with a different game plan and implemented the wrestling. He's capable here. And like I said, we haven't seen too much of Sue to really say, hey, he's really going to go out here and be levels above a Matt Schnell. So that price, to me, is unbettable. If you really want an action on this fight, I think Matt Schnell has all the value if you want to take a shot on him. But I'm going to go with Sumudaerji, and I'm going to take him by a second-round knockout. Moving on down the card to my favorite fight on the night, Shane Burgos versus Charles Jourdain. Man, I'm a fan of Jourdain when it comes to his striking ability. I love his style. I love the performances he's put on in the octagon. And the same goes with Shane Burgos. Now, if there's one thing I got to say about either guy is that Shane really puts on good combinations to the body. I don't underrate either guy's competition. I know Burgos has been up against bigger names, but I don't want to underrate anybody's strength of schedule. And no matter how you slice it, in the last 3 years, Shane Burgos is 2-2. Makwan Americani, Billy Cortello, Edison Barbosa, and Josh Emmett. And you got a guy in Charles Jourdain who, in the last, 3 years, very similar in record, right? These are guys that win some, lose some. And I feel like we might get a little bit clouded on how we feel about Charles Jourdain just based on the guys he's fought and the fact that he does trade losses here. Now, if he wins this fight, this will be 3 fights in a row. It'll be a big streak in his career. And it'll be a turning point for him because I don't even believe in the UFC he's been able to rattle off 3 straight wins. Yeah, right. This will tee him up for his 3rd win. And I like him in the spot, man. I like him in the spot, but I just can't go against Burgos. I just feel like he's going to be able to attack the body. I feel like he's going to be able to land the overhand rights. And I feel like this is going to be a close, competitive fight where we might see the hometown kid get the hometown rub. Where we might see a close fight where we may believe Charles Jourdain won, and I can understand the ride at that price when people were having him at plus 162. I could definitely understand why you want to go for him here. But for me, I'm going to have to side with Shane Burgos, Hurricane Shane, to go out there and just be a little level above the current state of Charles Jourdain here. Moving on down the card. The main card opener, we got Lauren Murphy versus Miesha Tate. Listen, my favorite dog on the card, guys. My favorite dog on the card here is Lauren Murphy. All right? Miesha is a bit bigger. Miesha is trying to tee up her opportunity to get the flyweight and face Valentina. But I don't think it's going to happen here. I think Lauren Murphy has the speed advantage. I think Lauren Murphy throws better boxing combinations. And I also feel like Lauren Murphy is competent enough to really give Miesha Tate some hard scrambles here. Miesha Tate hasn't fought a flyweight before. We don't know if her durability is compromised, her ability to take a punch is compromised, and Miesha does take punches. She's older. She took a break off fighting for so long. Lauren Murphy's been on a rocky road and been improving, even though she suffered that loss to Valentina. She's been improving, 15-5 here. The more active fighter, fighting at flyweight, the speed is totally different. The speed is totally different. Yeah, the strength is different, but the speed is different. I think even though Lauren Murphy isn't the fastest flyweight, I feel like her combinations and her boxing ability is going to shock Miesha Tate here. And all she's got to do is stuff a couple of takedowns and light Miesha up on the feet. Plus 175. Give me lucky Lauren Murphy, guys. One of my favorite dogs on the card. Moving on down, we got Punahele Soriano versus Dalcha Lungiambula. Tough fight, man. Both guys are very untrustworthy. Both guys, do show an ability to slow down in fights. But when seeing them really size up against one another, you can really tell that Dalcha used to fight at 205. And, it's funny how they have him listed at 5'8". I do like the size of Dalcha here. But I do think at the same time, he can be cracked. He can be cracked. He can be dropped. And I do see Puna kind of pushing a lot further. And for two guys that were training at the same camp in Extreme Couture, and one guy still being there, I gotta have a bit of a belief that his coaching and Extreme Couture does see this as a matchup where Puna can thrive. Dropping 2 in a row, this is a must-win here. A fight I don't really want to bet, definitely a dogger pass situation, but I'm gonna go with Puna for the win, and I'm gonna say he wins by unanimous decision. Moving on down to another awesome fight here. We got Ricky Simón versus Jack Shore. The more I think about this fight, the more I want to stay off of it. Until I saw the weigh-ins. Man, oh man, was Jack Shore noticeably bigger than Ricky Simón, man. I know Ricky Simón's a small guy. I do know he throws heavy punches. He's going to be looking to work the body. He's closer to the hips. It's going to be hard for Jack Shore to shoot on him. Man, I liked Ricky Simón at plus 130 until I really seen the size difference. And knowing the ability Jack Shore has, the striking game he has, the versatility in the grappling, and the fact that, he hasn't really shown any durability issues. Where we've seen some durability issues here from Ricky Simón. I got to go with this proven commodity here in Jack Shore, who has not lost a fight yet. I'm going to ride this bandwagon until it falls off. Ricky Simón is definitely a very, 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 formidable opponent. But give me Jack Shore here, and give me Jack Shore by rear naked choke in the 3rd round. Speaking of rear naked chokes, I smell another one brewing. We got a matchup here with Bill Algeo versus Herbert Burns in the featherweight division. Listen, plus 170 on Herbert Burns. Thank me later. He is going to go out there. He's going to throw a left hand, almost like a jab, go for the single leg takedown, ride the back of Bill Algeo, and strangle him in the 1st round. Cut this. If I'm wrong, come back and laugh at me. Yes, Bill Algeo has a good striking game. Good footwork, decent scrambles. Herb Burns is just coming off a bad look where he took a fight on short notice, didn't make weight against a real tough guy in Daniel Pineda. 2 years off, I think Herbert Burns runs through Bill Algeo like a hot knife through butter. And he's another one of my favorite dogs. 2 plus 170 dogs I'm handing out this week, and I'm very confident in both, man. So make sure you get your single shots on Herbert Burns. Make sure you get your single shots on Lauren Murphy. Moving on down to the card with the fight that I feel like I've had the most issues with as far as coming down to a winner. But you'll see what I've decided to do at the end of this card, end of this video. We got Dustin Jacoby versus Un Jung at the light heavyweight division. Man, Dustin Jacoby has just been such a profitable fighter for me. And then Un Jung is a guy that I've, haven't really had the opportunity to bet on. Didn't bet on him in that Kennedy fight. And, pretty much avoided some of his matchups because he's been, I would say inappropriately aligned in certain spots. And watching him against Sam Alvey, would put a little bit of doubt in your head. But that was Abu Dhabi Fight Island. A lot of fighters felt like they didn't come out the way they did. And that was his only fight during the lockdown. So, interesting enough, maybe, Korea wasn't giving him the opportunity to train. Now, as much as I'm a fan of Dustin, I like his hand speed, his low kicks, his movement. I do think Un Jung is just a different style of athlete, a true, beast of a human being. He's huge. His power, I just feel, is going to resonate. The best comparable fight I like here is Maxim Grisham that Dustin Jacoby faced, where necessarily didn't have the speed. He had the speed advantage, but the size and power, the little bit of shots he can land, hitting Jacoby off balance, they're just not good optics to the judges. And I can see why some people felt, Maxim won that fight. He did slow down in that matchup. And I just don't see slowing down. I do like the grappling upside, the size difference. Yeah, a little bit slower, but I do feel like even in the big cage that these are light heavyweights. Un Jung will get his hands on him and will win a competitive fight. Give me Un Jung by unanimous decision, but a 29-28 close fight. Now we got Dwight Grant here versus Dustin Stoltzfus in the middleweight division. Both guys not that impressive to me as far as their career has gone. Grant's put on some entertaining fights, but I've kind of bet on him every spot out, and it's been pretty profitable. I think he got me once with Stefan Sekulic. But and you got another guy in Dustin Stoltzfus who's gone against reasonable competition, guys that are slightly better in his spot. Now, Stoltzfus was way bigger than Grant today, man. Grant just looked a little, almost just a lazy wire. I know he kind of looks like that, but it just looks a little better at welterweight. Seeing him here at middleweight, I do think the grappling's going to give him trouble. Kind of sort of like Kevin Holland, right? And in that same retrospect. Although, you do got to understand welterweights are a very, very talented crop of fighters versus middleweights. I like the dog here. Well, he's not the dog anymore. It's a pick'em. I like Dustin Stoltzfus, and I think he gets his first victory. I can see him get a rear naked choke in the second round. Moving on down here to the prelim opener, Jessica Penne versus Emily Ducote. Man, I thought Penne was going to tower over her when you look at some of these metrics, 5'5" to 5'2", the reach advantage. But Emily looked big. Emily looked strong. She looked mean. I just don't see Penne climbing up on her back. I don't even see Penne being able to manhandle her in the spot. And I've been riding with Penne as a dog in both matchups. But I do think it comes to an end, man. I do think it comes to an end. Even in the debut spot. It makes you worry with this girl taking this fight on her debut. But, man, I like the physicality. I like the youth. I like the size. I like that she's on a run. I've seen some of her fights in Invicta, when trying to bet on those spots. And she's always been a huge favorite, so I haven't been able to really take advantage of that. But at this spot, we got minus 150. I think she pulls out a tough fight, but gets it done 29-28. So give me Emily Ducote by unanimous decision. And at this part of the show, guys, we are going to show the parlay. But I'll give you another one. I'll give you two parlays. But I already told you guys about my straight shots. I told you about how I feel. And you already know, public parlays, I'm feeling good about this weekend. London's a good one, but this is a good one here as well. So you already know what it is. Thank you guys for hanging out here at Southpaw Picks. It's Charles. I'll catch you guys later. And good